Hello and welcome. My name is Brittney Williams. Thank you for joining me today to discuss the concept of leadership through emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence was first introduced in the business world by Daniel Goleman in 1995. Since then, the concept of emotional intelligence and its importance in the workplace has gained ever-increasing attention and merit. Emotional intelligence, or EI, is different from IQ. IQ tells you what level of cognitive complexity a person has to manage their job, while EI sets apart those leaders in the professions and sciences. EI is also described as that something that each person has that is unique to them. We each have our own way of displaying emotional intelligence, and it is constantly changing as we develop and grow over time and add tools to our toolkit. So how important is EI? Well, a recent study on Career Builder indicated that as much as 71% of employers value EI over IQ. Good news! While IQ essentially doesn't change over our adult life, emotional intelligence is a learned behavior and can be continually improved and developed over time. So we know that emotional intelligence is important to being successful at work, but it also affects several other areas of your life. Having a high level of emotional intelligence can help your performance at work by helping you to navigate those social complexities in the workforce and help you to motivate others. The first step to improving your emotional intelligence is learning how to relieve stress. If you are unable to manage stress levels, this can lead to serious health problems, including high blood pressure, suppressed immune system, and increased risk of a heart attack. Uncontrolled stress can lead to anxiety and depression. If you are unable to understand and manage your emotions, as the teachings of emotional intelligence explain, then you are at increased risk of mood swings, and this can limit your ability to form strong relationships. Relationships can be enhanced with everyone if you better understand your emotions and how to regulate and express them to others. So let's go into some of the elements of emotional intelligence. The first crucial step in understanding emotions is to accurately perceive them. Understand those nonverbal cues that are being displayed. Next is reasoning with or using emotions to promote thinking and cognitive activity. We respond emotionally to those things that catch our attention. Learning to see this can help us prioritize the things that we react and pay attention to. Understanding emotions is how we perceive others' emotions. And lastly, the ability to manage emotions effectively is the key part of emotional intelligence. Regulating your own emotions and responding appropriately to the emotions of others are important aspects of emotional management. Responding rather than reacting is key. Reacting is not being aware of your emotions and the impact that they have on others. Rather, giving pause, recognizing the emotion as you have it, and responding accordingly is a sign of maturity. Now let's go into the 5 characteristics of emotional intelligence. The first and perhaps the most important characteristic of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. Being able to understand your own emotions and not let them dictate your behavior is the basis for having strong emotional intelligence in this area. People with high emotional intelligence are able to stay on top of their reactions, and they have a willingness to focus on their feelings long enough to figure out where they are coming from, even if they are uncomfortable. I always like to remind myself that if I'm not uncomfortable, then I'm not growing. The second characteristic of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. People who self-regulate typically don't allow themselves to become too angry or jealous. They don't make impulsive decisions, and they think before they act. We always feel something first, then we react. So self-regulation is giving that pause to be able to filter the emotion that we are having, and rather than reacting, we can respond appropriately. People with a high degree of self-regulation are comfortable with change. We all know that things in life are changing constantly and that everything is impermanent. So being able to go with the flow and relax during times of change is a skill that takes time to develop. If you are someone who is resistant to change, try doing some self-affirmations. Tell yourself repeatedly, change is a good thing. I like change. Next is motivation. People with high levels of emotional intelligence are usually very motivated. They are willing to defer immediate results for long-term success. They are highly productive and effective and love a challenge. I know that it is hard to be this way every single day. However, I believe it's about being consistent and being persistent in your goals. Showing up with a positive attitude on a consistent basis is half the battle. Perhaps the second most important element of emotional intelligence is having empathy or social awareness. People with empathy are good at recognizing the feelings of others, even when those feelings may not be so obvious. As a result, they are usually excellent at managing relationships and listening to others. So the first step in having empathy is making sure that you are present and paying attention to the people that you're with. I like to say I have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We are supposed to listen twice as much as we talk. The last characteristic of emotional intelligence is social skills or relationship management. Having good social skills is another sign of having high emotional intelligence. These skills include being a good team player and an excellent communicator. People with high emotional intelligence in this area are able to focus on helping others develop and shine. While this may come easier to some than to others, all of us are capable of giving praise and credit where it's due. None of us can make it alone, so when someone helps you, being able to give a sincere thank you goes a long way. Lastly, let us review some characteristics and traits of leaders with high emotional intelligence. Leaders with high emotional intelligence ask open-ended questions. They don't take things personally, as opposed to insecure leaders who are defensive and take things personally anytime someone challenges their authority. Good leaders are aware of their emotions and the impact that they have on others. They are also adept at picking up on others' emotional states and ensuring that they help conversations be more beneficial and less destructive. Good leaders are available to those reporting to them, both physically and emotionally. They are aware of any outside issues going on in someone's life that requires extra sensitivity. Good leaders with high emotional intelligence don't need to have their egos massaged or demonstrate their own importance. They always look for ways to give positive feedback for a job well done and give others a chance to shine, and they don't feel threatened by those under them. Thank you for joining me today. That concludes this presentation on emotional intelligence. Hopefully you have gained some tools to help you increase your emotional intelligence and enhance your leadership potential.